Hi there, this is Tamara Rubin, Lead Safe Mama, leadsafemama.com. We're doing a series of videos we're going to call the Scotland videos, or otherwise the February videos. So if you're looking for the videos in the series, look for the Scotland videos. Lead Safe Mama Scotland videos, Lead Safe Mama February videos, and it's 2024. So what we're going to be doing in this video series is we're testing things with an XRF instrument and testing things with the glowing test kit and testing things with the SCIDUS swab kits. We're going to start by testing things with the XRF instrument. So we're testing this dish using XRF technology first, and we're going to be doing some testing. And it depends on where you put the instrument, but this particular first test came in at 83,700 parts per million lead. And let's do another test real quick. A second test at 57,400 parts per million lead.
Wait, sorry. Just focusing up.
And then I did one test that was a lot higher, so we're going to try and replicate that. Depends on what colors of the glaze you get in the scope or not. Yeah. And so this test came in at 175,000 parts per million lead. So what we know from using an XRF instrument on this dish is that it's definitely leaded. I'm just looking at the back here. It's made in Germany. You can see made in Germany.
Wait.
Okay. So that's the XRF test for this particular dish. This dish has lead, depending on what color you test, at levels between 50,000 and upwards of 150,000, 170,000 parts per million lead, 175,000. So this dish has lead. We know it has lead using XRF technology. Next, we're going to test it with a reactive agent test kit. Hi, this is another video in our Scotland series of videos. So we tested this earlier using XRF technology. We found lead levels in the range of 50,000 to 175,000 parts per million lead. 175,000 in the glaze, that's about 17% lead in the glaze. It's a made in Germany plate, it's probably vintage. And right now, we know it's leaded, and we're gonna use a home test kit, the SCIDUS test kits, and we're just doing this to re-emphasize that these test kits are designed for testing for lead in paint. They are not designed for testing for lead in consumer goods. Here's a reaction to lead paint. This was reaction to a zinc toy car. This was reaction to a lead painted piece of ceramic. And this is a blank, an unused one. So this was a false positive in a way. This is a false negative in a way. And we're gonna see what we get here. We're dipping it in vinegar, in white vinegar. And then this is where it tested really high lead. And again, 175,000 parts per million lead. And we're rubbing it. And again, these test kits are not designed for testing for lead in consumer goods. We know this is leaded because we just tested it using XRF technology. These test kits are designed for testing for lead in house paint, and that's what they should be used for. They should not be used for testing for lead in consumer goods. They will give you false positives and false negatives. So here, this is an area that tested positive for 175,000 parts per million lead. If you used hot or acidic foods on this, if you used like salad dressing with vinegar or lemon or tomato sauce, it could leach, especially if you used it on a regular basis over time. And this is telling me, if I were a consumer and didn't know any better, this is telling me that it's negative for lead when in fact it's positive. So those are two false negatives there on items we know are leaded. This was for an item that was about 1,500 parts per million lead, and this is about 175,000 parts per million lead, and we know it's positive for lead. But again, these test kits should not be used for testing lead in consumer goods. They should only be used for testing for lead in house paint. So here we are using the reactive agent home test kit, the glowing kit, with something we know that's very high lead. Now I'm going to take bets with myself here. Avi, you have a bet? Do you think this is going to test positive using the glowing kit?
I think it would be definitely less likely to than that book that we just did, right?
So this is what it looks like before the glowing kit. We know that this area right here on the middle of these flowers is very high lead, like 175,000 parts per million. So we're going to spray it.
And did you explain that's UV light, right?
Yeah. And then we're going to see.
Oh, there is a green. Yeah.
Oh, look, there is some green on the outside bits. Hold on. Oh,
Yeah.
So you had asked, this is the one that we used, this flower is the one we tested with the reactive agent kit, the Skytis, and these flowers we didn't. So you asked if the reactive agent
Which had vinegar.
solution that had vinegar might throw off the test, and I think you're correct. So you want to make sure you have a clean, whoa. So yeah, so even though this didn't test positive with the Skytis swab, which are designed for testing for lead and paint, it did test
Can you just
positive.
stay on that one flower? Yeah. Yeah.
It is testing positive with the glowing test kit. And I'll put the link to all of these test kits in each of the videos. Okay, next video. Any questions, Avi?
So then, yeah, but it also doesn't, so that's just testing and it's reacting to that, but it's not telling you all the other.
What I think is important to know is that if you test a dish with the swab kits and they don't turn red, that doesn't necessarily mean it's lead-free or safe to use. Mm-hmm. This is more realistic in terms of showing us that there is a concern for lead in this dish, mm-hmm. and whether or not it's leaching, that's a hard call. I understand that this is possibly an indicator that it's leaching.
Yeah, I was wondering
but I don't think that that's been well enough studied on all mm-hmm. the different types of potential leachable surfaces. So I think when we test the enamel pin that we're about to test, we'll get a better sense as to how this is reacting with surfaces that otherwise might seem like they're non-leachable. Okay, more shortly.